Hey, I'm Frank, and I have hidradenitis suppurativa, HS. Before starting Cosentix, I was so uncomfortable with my symptoms, like not being able to sleep on white sheets or wear white clothes. Now I can appreciate the little things.
Cosentix secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe hidradenitis suppurativa, HS. Don't use if allergic to Cosentix. Get checked for TB before starting. Increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like TB or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some were fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if IBD symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur. Learn more at 1-844-COSENTIX or Cosentix.com.
You're stronger than HS. Ask your dermatologist about Cosentix.
BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an adjustable implant, 68 milligrams radiopaque. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
10 years from today, Lisa Schneider will trade in her office job to become the leader of a pack of dogs. As the owner of her own dog rescue, that is. A second act made possible by the reskilling courses Lisa's taking now with AARP to help make sure her income lives as long as she does. And she can finally run with the big dogs. And the small dogs, who just think they're big dogs. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Learn more at aarp.org/skills.
With the Venmo debit card, you can Venmo everything. Your favorite band's merch? You can Venmo this. Or their next show? You can Venmo that. Visit Venmo.me/debit to learn more. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Card may be used everywhere MasterCard is accepted. Venmo purchase restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This is the way it feels to move through summer in Lululemon. Iconic Align softness without the front seam. For our smoothest look and feel ever. Summer won't know what hit it. Stretch your limits in the non-stop flexibility of the new Lululemon Align No Line Pant in select stores and at Lululemon.com.
This episode is brought to you by Greenlight. Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at Polestar.com.
The Power of Learning as a Learned Behavior, a practical guide for continuous improvement in organizations abstract. This paper explores how the ability to continuously learn and improve is a critical yet underutilized skill in both personal and professional contexts. It argues that learning is not an innate capability, but rather a learned behavior that must be intentionally developed through conscious effort and practice. The paper first defines organizational learning as the continual and collaborative process of using data and experience to enhance performance. It then examines the science of habit formation, showing how learning requires repetitive practice to become an automatic response. The paper outlines strategies for leaders to shape a learning-oriented organizational culture, such as aligning learning goals with key metrics, emphasizing hands-on practice and feedback, and modeling a growth mindset. Finally, it showcases Netflix as a case study in embedding learning at the core of an innovative, adaptive business. The paper concludes that in today's volatile environment, the only sustainable advantage is the ability to learn faster than competitors and continuously reinvent oneself, which requires deliberately cultivating learning as an organizational competency.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
If you went on a road trip and you didn't stop for a Big Mac or drop a crispy fry between the car seats or use your McDonald's bag as a placemat, then that wasn't a road trip. It was just a really long drive. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's.
At Capella University, learning online doesn't mean learning alone. You'll get support from people who care about your success, like your enrollment counselor, who gets to know you and the goals you'd like to achieve. You'll also get a designated academic coach who's with you throughout your entire program. Plus, career coaches are available to help you navigate your professional goals. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Hey business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 110,000 bonus miles for a limited time through July 16th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends 7/16/25.
One of the most impactful yet underutilized skills in both our personal and professional lives is the ability to continuously learn and improve. While it may seem obvious that learning is important for individual and organizational success, the reality is that habits of perpetual learning are not innate. They must be intentionally developed and reinforced over time through conscious effort and practice. Today, we will explore how learning itself can be framed as a learned behavior and propose concrete steps that organizational leaders can take to foster a culture where learning is valued, prioritized, and ingrained at both the individual and systemic levels. By understanding learning as a practice that requires cultivation, leaders are better positioned to equip their people and shape their environments in a way that drives ongoing progress. Defining organizational learning and its importance before diving into the how of learning as a learned behavior. It is first important to properly frame the what and why. For the purpose of this discussion, organizational learning will be defined as the continual and collaborative process by which an organization uses data and experience to enhance performance and outcomes. This definition underscores two key aspects of learning: that it is ongoing rather than episodic, and that it involves the sharing of knowledge across individuals, teams, and departments. With this understanding, the significance of organizational learning becomes clear. In today's rapidly changing world, the ability to learn from both successes and failures is critical for businesses hoping to adapt, innovate, and stay ahead of the competition. Organizational learning also has wide-reaching positive impacts on employee engagement, operational efficiency, customer satisfaction, problem-solving abilities, and more. For leaders looking to future-proof their organizations, fostering a culture of learning should be a top strategic priority. Learning as a learned behavior, the science behind habit formation. If learning is to be cultivated as an organizational core competency, Leaders must first comprehend learning at the individual level as a skill that requires focused development over time. Decades of brain research have revealed that learning is not an innate human capability, but rather a learned behavior shaped by experience and repetition. Dewage. 2007. New behaviors and cognitions are encoded into our neural pathways through a biologically driven process of habit formation, whereby each iteration of a desired behavior strengthens the associated neural circuitry, making subsequent performances of that behavior faster and more automatic. Dewig. 2012. Applying this science of habit to learning, it becomes clear that just as it takes deliberate practice to master a musical instrument or sport, it similarly takes intentional and repeated practice to master the skill of learning itself. Individuals must be supported in consciously breaking down learning into discrete steps, from information intake to comprehension to application, and then repetitively engaging in feedback-based practice of these learned behaviors until they become habitual responses to any learning opportunity. Shaping an organizational learning culture, strategies and practices with the understanding that learning requires habit formation at the individual level. Leaders can then design organizational strategies, systems and structures aimed at reinforcing learning as the dominant and self-sustaining culture. One successful approach is to establish clear learning objectives that are directly connected to both individual and team key performance metrics. Edmondson. 2011. This demonstrates that learning is a business priority equally as important as traditional measures of output or sales. Formal learning and development programs should focus not just on content delivery but emphasize hands-on practice, reflection, feedback loops and collaboration. Deroux et al. 2012. Opportunities for informal learning, such as internal communities of practice, peer coaching networks and stretch assignment rotations, can also reinforce learning-oriented behaviors outside of traditional training settings. Wenger. 2000. Collecting and sharing lessons learned from both successes and failures, whether through case studies, after-action reviews, or lightweight metrics platforms, makes the value of learning visible while continuously building organizational knowledge. Harvey et al. 2020. Leaders modeling curiosity, questioning assumptions, and openly acknowledging what they have learned sends a strong cultural signal that lifelong learning is valued at all levels. Fostering a growth mindset, the crucial role of feedback while strategies and programs are important for shaping a learning culture. The most impactful factor may be how an organization views and discusses the concept of ability itself. A fixed mindset, which views skills and intelligence as innate talents, undermines learning by discouraging risk-taking and experimentation for fear of exposing deficiencies. Dweck. 2006. In contrast, fostering a growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed through effort, strategy and instruction, allows people to feel empowered over their capacity to learn and improve. Leaders play a key role by how they frame discussions of performance, successes and failures. Heslin et al. 2005. Focusing feedback on effort, strategies, and progress toward mastery rather than absolute outcomes promotes risk-taking, perseverance and intrinsic motivation to learn from both achievements and setbacks. Cummins and Dweck. 1999. Establishing psychological safety so people feel comfortable admitting gaps and asking for help also reinforces that learning through mistakes and questions is valued, not stigmatized. Edmondson. 2019. With the right growth mindset, feedback becomes the fuel individuals need to continuously stretch their abilities and maximize their potential. A case study in organizational learning, Netflix as a compelling real-world example. The media streaming giant Netflix has embedded learning into the very foundation of its innovative culture. From its inception, Netflix recognized that to disrupt entrenched incumbents in the video rental industry would require an ability to learn and adapt at unprecedented speed. Reed. 2014. The company instituted lightweight metrics and experimentation platforms to continuously test new content. Product features, pricing and more, ensuring learnings from both triumphs and stumbles were captured, analyzed and quickly incorporated into the next iterations. Netflix also focused heavily on psychological safety and empowering employees at all levels to propose creative ideas and learn through failures without reprisal, fostering a true culture of risk-taking and growth. Schmidt and Rosenberg. 2014. This learning-oriented approach allowed Netflix to rapidly iterate its way to industry leadership and helped insulate it from competitors clinging to outdated assumptions. Netflix's story demonstrates organizational learning in action on a massive scale, having transformed an entire sector through continuous, data-driven improvement. Conclusion: in today's VUCA world defined by volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, the only sustainable advantage is the ability to learn faster than competitors and continuously reinvent oneself based on feedback. This paper has aimed to reframe organizational learning as an actively cultivated competency, outlining how learning itself can be understood as a learned behavior at the individual level, and proposing systemic strategies that support learning as an ingrained part of organizational culture. By focusing on fostering growth mindsets, collecting lessons through various formal and informal feedback loops, and modeling curiosity and risk-taking from the top down, leaders have the power to shape high-performance, adaptive learning organizations. With intentional nurturing over time, learning truly can become second nature for individuals, teams and entire enterprises seeking to thrive amid constant change. The rewards of perpetual progress far outweigh the risks of maintaining obsolete assumptions or going it alone.